Hey guys, it's Russell back, and on today's video, as part of our continuing episode in the series, Bring That Mercedes Back from the Dead, we are going to be troubleshooting the glow plug system. I'm going to be showing you how to do some basic troubleshooting on the pre-glow relay, and then we'll be doing some troubleshooting on the glow plugs and the wiring harness itself, and I'm going to show you how to replace the glow plugs, because I'm sure there's at least a couple bad ones. So without further ado, and you don't want to hear me continuing to talk, there goes the phone. Let's go ahead and get to it. Okay, so here is a typical pre-glow relay on a Mercedes. Pretty much all Mercedes, Volkswagens, and different other diesels will have some type of controller that controls the on and off and the timing and amount of current that goes through to the glow plugs. Now, just to give you a quick frame of reference, basically power comes in, it'll come in on this terminal, it'll go across here. This is a 80 amp fusible link. These 4 pins right here, that goes back to the glow plug light, the ignition switch, etc., etc. There's an electronic circuit board in here that will take parameters about the temperature, the whether the key's on or off, etc., etc. And ultimately, these 4 pins right here, the harness where it plugs in goes directly to the glow plugs, and will, and as far as the Mercedes is concerned, will leave the glow plugs on for a maximum of, I believe it's 30 seconds. If you don't start the engine, then it cuts off. Now, you can see that I don't have anything hooked up because I have another glow plug relay right here. This one is bad, and the reason I know that it's bad is because when I turn the key, there's nothing happens. No voltage comes out. There's something internally wrong with this. So I had a spare glow plug relay from a 5-cylinder car, and this right here is the harness. Each of these pins goes to a wire that goes directly to each glow plug. This piece right here, I was telling you about, one of them is for the glow plug light, one of them is for the ignition switch, etc., etc. And here is the wire that goes directly from the battery. So if we use our test light or our multimeter, we would have 12 volts here, here, and here. And when we turn the key, we'll have power coming out of here. And this does work. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to show you how to test the harness part, because this is really where you can get a lot of information. And I'm going to be, let me reset the camera up here a little bit, and I'm going to show you how we can tell if one of the plugs and or the wire is bad without having to take anything apart. All right, so this is really very simple. I'm just going to take a wire, it's got alligator clips on it, and I'm going to hook it to a good engine ground. You can hook it to the block, wherever you've got a good ground, okay? I've got my multimeter. I'm going to put it on 200 ohms. All right. I'm going to take the other end of my alligator clip and just put it on the negative terminal. Number one has got about 17.7 ohms. Number 2 has 0.9, so that's pretty much good. Number 3, 0.9, and number 4, 22.6. So we've got some bad plugs in here. Now, if you wanted to go further, you could disconnect the wire from each plug and test and do this same test again and test the wire itself. I already did that. I wanted to try to speed this up. So basically what I do, I have 2 bad plugs, 2 bad glow plugs, and when we take the glow plugs out, I'm going to test them and show you. Let me show you what a brand new glow plug. We'll test out at. Alright, so here is a brand spanking new glow plug, and it's very easy to test. I just take one end, this is where the power comes in it, and I just test it at the body, and I get 0.9 ohms, which is perfect. Now, just because the plug passes the test doesn't always necessarily mean that it's in the best condition. They do degrade over time. However, if the resistance is really high, like we've got two of the plugs, then that's definitely going to be an issue. So, with the way that the car is now, if I were to try to start it, I would have 2 of the 4 glow plugs working, and that's enough to start it. It is an extended amount of cranking, but it will work. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to show you. I'm going to replace all 4 glow plugs. It's not a hard job at all. To remove the nut from the glow plug that holds the wire on, it's an 8mm. Now be very, very careful when you take these off, because if you lose this nut, it's going to fall behind the injection pump and will be gone. Alright, and once you have the wire loose, just move it out of the way. And then take your, I believe it's 12mm wrench. You can use a socket on some of these if you got enough extensions and swivels. I like these gear wrenches. Okay. If you don't have a lot of carbon in here, then they'll come out really, really easy. And that's a plug right there. And this one, I'll show you all these tests when I get them all out to speed things up. I'm going to get some anti-seize and show you how I put that on there to make it so that it will not freeze up in the head. Alright, now one final step before you put the plug in is you should ream out the carbon. If you have a glow plug reamer, I use a 1/4 inch or a 17/32 drill bit and just very lightly spin it around in there. That's the right size and will remove any carbon buildup. So I'm going to take our new glow plug, and I've got some anti-seize. I'm just going to put a little bit on the threads. Okay. And I'm just going to put it right back in there. Should go in real easy. 90% of it the way will be finger tight. And then you just want to snug it up, not real tight. Then take your wire, put your wire back on, put your nut back on. Okay. Now I'm going to go do the other 3 and we'll be right back. All right, of course, it's starting to rain, but here we go. Haven't started it yet. Wanted you guys to be here with me. All right, see the glow plug light came on and then went off. Now that's exactly how it's supposed to work. If all 4 of those plugs had not been lighting up, then we could crank until the engine ran out of battery juice and it wouldn't have done anything. If the glow plug light does not illuminate when you have the key on, when you turn it, then that could mean that 1 or 2, or actually I believe it's 2 or more of the glow plugs are out. So that is how it's supposed to operate. So I'm going to go ahead and take the pre-glow relay that I was using and bolt that to the side of the fender, and hopefully if this rain will stop, I'll give you guys one final shot. So I want to show you real quick the glow plug test. Now this should be a good glow plug here, and we read 0.9 ohms, so that one's good. The second one we read 0.9 ohms. All right, that one's good. The third one, 22.4 ohms. That is not good. And 17.6 ohms, that is not good. All right, so the resistance of those 2 plugs is very high. However, you may be wondering, are these completely defective? Will they work at all? Well, let me show you. All right, so I have the other end of this cable hooked up to a battery, and I want to show you guys what happens. So we're going to simulate a plug being used. Okay, see? Nothing happens. That one's no good. And that one's no good. Now we're going to use a good plug that tested out good. Now watch, it'll start the tip. See it start glowing red? That's what happens inside the engine. And we'll test this one. Now oftentimes a glow plug will pass this test, but the ohms still may be high. I suspect if we were to test the new plugs we just put in there, it would heat up probably much more rapid. But those 2 plugs are good, so I'm going to keep these as spares just in case. And you can see with as little as less than 20 ohms, these plugs are, well, garbage. So guys, I hope that little exercise was good. If you own a diesel, if you're not, maybe you're just something you'd like to learn and wanted to know how glow plugs worked, how the relay worked, etc., etc. But so I'm very pleased that now we can crank the Mercedes up, and the next, probably next video we'll do some fluids change, oil change, power steering, brake fluid, all that stuff. So we're getting close to being able to get this on the road, because I've got to get that car to Discount Tire and get some tires on there, because these things are dry rotted. But guys, I appreciate your subscribership, and if you haven't subscribed, please do so. If you would hit that little button bell next to the subscribe button. You'll be notified of new content as soon as I upload it. If you have any questions, if you have any ideas for other videos on this series or any of our hybrid wash series or any other detailing things that you'd like to see, please leave a comment and I will see you on the next video.